What is up, dudes and dudettes, and all our comrades in between? This is the Rad Left podcast with James and Casey. Today's episode is brought to you by Leftist Coffee. That's coffee that has been left over from yesterday. It's still good. You can reuse it. Recycle, reuse. Today we are going to be talking about the Democrats, and I'm going to let Casey take it over from here. I guess before we get started, Casey, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I woke up today.
That's good.
Yeah.
Step one.
Yeah, I feel puffy-eyed. I have a third shift job, so I have a weird schedule. This is my early morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Got to start putting ice on my eyes or cucumbers like they used to do in Gilligan's Island, or you always see the rich people with the cucumbers on their eyes. I don't know what that does, but got to get rid of the puffy. I'm looking kind of puffy in the eyes here.
Yeah. I heard it helps if you put salad dressing on it, too.
Salad dressing?
Yeah.
Ketchup? Just squirt ketchup in your eye?
You put ketchup on your salad?
I don't know why. It's got tomatoes in it, right? Why did I say that?
On today's episode, we're talking about ketchup on salads.
Yep.
So,
just like Trump.
Oh my God.
Ketchup
with steak?
That's the most trashy thing you can do. Well, it's not the most trashy thing you can do.
Yeah.
But in the food world, that's up there.
That's pretty fucking bad.
It's pretty bad.
Ugh.
Yeah.
What a monster.
What a monster. Look at what you've done. We all have to take a little bit of blame, I guess.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I have my reasons to blame myself, but we're not the only ones to blame.
No.
Liberals. Here we go.
We're going to kick it off there. Liberals, this is your fault.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's why this podcast exists right now, because James and I are tired of just pissing on 2 or 3 people on Facebook. We want to piss on a whole group of people and get to more people and piss them off. No, but we don't just want to piss you off. We don't feel there's any hope in changing over a Trump supporter. I mean, I know some people from my hometown. They can go ahead and comment on this, do whatever they want. I hope they do. But there is no hope for you guys. You people that are against the riots and think the rioting and the protests are un-American, fuck off. There's no hope for you. We aren't even going to try to change your mind. I've already been in too many debates. When it comes to liberals, not leftists, which are we leftists, James?
Oh, yeah.
But now we're getting past that even, aren't we? Or would a leftist be anarchist?
Yeah, I mean, that's about as left as you can get.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, I mean, it's way more nuanced than, everybody makes it out to be. There's like a line and you can decide who's in the center and stuff, because all that stuff is constantly changing.
Yeah.
But as far as American politics go, and as far as many leftists opine, such as myself, we say that, Bernie was centrist.
Yeah.
Not centrist here in this country, but globally he was a centrist, and
yeah.
he was kind of our he's what we were willing to compromise.
Yeah.
With as far as the Democratic Party goes.
Yeah.
Which is funny because most of the Democrats find him to be
like this radical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not.
He's not.
No.
The basic human rights should not be radical, and the fact that you think they are is a scary sign of where we've gotten to.
Yeah.
In this country.
Yeah, and I think it's more than that too, though, because I just saw a tweet about it today, and I'm already forgetting the numbers, but it was something like 88% of Democrats are in favor of a single-payer health care system.
Yeah.
The Medicare for all.
Yeah.
But recently in the vote, it was 72%. Or 71 or 72% of the Democrats
voted it
down.
Yeah, which is a big part of this. Now, are people able to comment right now and talk to us through the stream? Okay, cool.
We might not get to it right away, but it is. We can see the chat right now.
Sweet.
We're working on technology to get.
I could probably see it from my phone.
Yeah.
Could get right into them because I have a few little things I want to break away to. But basically, what we're saying here is, if you're watching this and you want to debate anything we're saying, or you just want to say hi, we welcome the debate. In fact, that's what we want. It's kind of boring when it's just two people talking that basically agree on everything. We want some people out there. I want to hear your dumbass thoughts. All right. No, I'm just kidding. They're not dumb. But I want to hear. I want to learn too because we really don't know. I mean, James is a very smart guy. He's the brains behind this institution here. But I think, well, you can do the technical stuff. I would be lost. I am lost. I have no idea what you're doing. I just see a camera on myself, and that's it. But we don't put ourselves in any kind of like professional whatever here. We're just trying to get this conversation going. I mean, it helps us vent. But one thing I do think we hope for is maybe before the election, we can get some liberals to at least understand what they're doing. Like, it's too late now, probably. We're not going to get a progressive candidate in there, are we? What's your thoughts on that? I mean, we're done with that, right?
Like, I don't see how it's possible.
No, there's
even
no way.
if Biden drops dead today.
Yeah,
which would be awesome.
Yeah, what would happen then? I wonder.
Well, the DNC would put in their guy. I mean, I've heard theories that they would choose Cuomo. They'd choose. I mean, I think that they would, in a really funny move, maybe choose Clinton.
Oh wow,
go with Hillary again.
She finally gets in there.
Yeah, give her dues that the DNC seems to think that she's owed.
Or I think she thinks she's owed. I think she just
someone thinks
she's like she just got a lot of clout in that situation there.
Yeah,
from all the stuff that she's done, or that's another story. But that's all where it started for me. It was 2016. I'm not a big politics guy, but I got more into it because of Bernie, because there was really no one that pulled me into it and excited me. So I was like a lot of people, and I just thought it was worthless. There's no point to it, which sadly, the deeper you get into it, you start kind of coming around to that again. It's like, man, my thoughts, and it's sad that the more you look into it, the more hopeless you even feel, because after worrying about, I mean, I can't tell you how many sweaty nights I had watching those, watching Bernie lose, and just like how close it got, and just like this whole thing with Biden watching, and just seeing how Obama came out of the woodwork to knock him down, but then
to knock him down, they went right back into the woodwork. Where is he? Where is he right now?
Where is he right now? When
talking about
he
Portland
should be like
exactly. Yeah,
and that's kind of where I wanted to go. So like these stimulus packages that are coming out or supposed to be coming out, the problem is like it all goes down to Alexandria Cortez, the wonderful congresswoman whom I'm a huge fan of. I think she's she's just great. Everything she says is right on point, and people always like to give her shit because she's young, and I think that's a great part of it, that she's young.
And she was a bartender before.
Yeah.
People on the right love to harp on this.
I know.
Which is really odd to me, because they are the major proponents of drain the swamp. They're done with these career politicians.
Yeah.
They want, some real people in Congress. But then you get somebody who was, just because she was a bartender.
Yeah.
They're like, go back and make me a drink, and it's like, what do you want?
But they have
you say get a job,
Yeah.
especially to people of her ethnicity.
Yeah, exactly.
They're lazy, blah blah blah.
Right.
But now they're making fun of her for having a job.
Yeah, it's just such loose, and they're propping up a reality star, a shitty con man, mustard-looking businessman that's just disgusting. Do you see that picture of him with Brett Favre out on the golf course?
Oh yeah.
God, he looks worse than I thought.
Dude, he's all shriveled up.
He's like a big bag of shit.
Yeah.
With like strained neck and the smile. Ew.
Yeah.
But AOC, we love her. She's great.
Oh yeah.
And have you ever seen Flip the House, the movie?
I haven't yet. No.
Yeah, I
haven't
either, but I've heard it's really good, and I probably should have. I didn't see it, but I know about it, and I know that basically Bernie and his wife Jane have an organization where basically, if you want to become like, they're trying to bring normal people up, like regular folk, and she's one of those that the movie's really centered around, and basically they kind of helped her become.
Is this the Justice Democrats you're talking about?
I think so. I think that's what the group's called.
Yeah. But
they're the ones that kind of gave her money, supported her, brought her up, showed her what to do. So I really see AOC as being like the next best thing. And I know her and Bernie have broken on a few things, which,
sure,
whatever. But I think overall they're the closest thing. She's the closest thing we got to any hope in there right now, though she's not 35. But I just want to read something that she said.
How old will she be in 2024?
It's getting close. Let's look that up.
Yeah.
We'll have who's our third person here that looks stuff up? What's his name?
It's James 2.
James 2.
Yeah. All right. So when? Well, I bet I could just Google this.
Yeah, when do we get to have her as a possible president? Gosh, that'll be
Oh,
wonderful.
so she turns 35 a few weeks before Election Day, so she would be eligible in 2024.
God damn it. Are we even going to make it that far to 2024?
This country?
I know. Civil war feels like it's just. You know what's the worst thing about a civil war breaking out, too, is the cops would side with the Proud Boys, and we'd all end up in jail. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's my scary theory. Because look at how they are whenever there's a protest, and you have the dudes with the open carry, and
Yeah.
they don't get nothing. They don't get sprayed or nothing.
Nope.
They're fine.
They never do.
Never do.
In fact, when I was down at the courthouse, let's see, what was that? Last weekend? Not this most recent one, but the one before. They had the Proud Boys. They had the Bikers for Trump. They had 3%ers, and it was a whole thing. The whole thing was what's that?
A 3%er?
It's another one of those
Stupid
hate groups. Yeah, I think they're all obsessed with like militia LARPing. Like they think that they're a militia, and they go out and pretend to act all tough and
But
stuff.
they have real guns.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah. So it's kind of real.
it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a sense that they're real guns and they're real morons. But like,
there's real morons.
yeah, yeah, basically. But so we arrived there, a really small group compared to them, probably like a quarter.
This
of
is the
what
one that
they
just
had.
happened like
Yeah,
last weekend.
this is what they had, a civil disobedience. This was the whole point. They were there to civilly disobey the mask mandate.
Yeah.
So they all stood around without masks and had like anti-mask
Wow.
signs. And then that was like the first part of it. And the second part was to rock the blue, support the blue lives.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you think we could ever do one of these live when there's a protest going on? Could we set up a little booth? Would that be really, really hard? Or like it'd be kind of interesting to do one from a protest.
that would be sweet.
sit people down
we
and
would
talk
need
to them.
pretty reliable internet.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Maybe it could be filmed and then put on later or something
yeah,
like that.
we
but
could definitely do
to
that.
do a stream would be
Yeah.
rough. That'd be exciting, though.
We would definitely need some help. We would need some
Yeah.
camera people.
Maybe we'll find. I know some camera people that would
Yeah.
probably do it. Okay, but we just have to see how. There's got to be a way to do it.
Yeah.
That would be hard.
We
to
could. I did want to do that. Like go out and do some like man on the street things
Yeah.
and have it play.
Yeah.
We could like have like a little like man on the street segment in
Can we
the
do some
in a live.
Sasha Baron
Yeah,
Cohen
exactly,
kinda
yeah,
shit,
some
just
Eric
dress up
Andre.
like- yeah, it's like, what do you guys think of all these liberals out there? So, anyways, I wanted to read this thing that AOC had said. It's coming from her Facebook site. I'm pretty sure it's her, but either way, the point is valid. Being said is, for a long time, I thought the Democrats were fighting valiantly, but just overwhelmed by the oligarchy and the Republicans. Then I saw that the Democrats keep losing fights that they should win, and figured they must be just weak and ineffectual. Then I kept seeing them backing off without putting up a fight at all, and decided they were gutless cowards. Finally, I noticed that enough of them keep voting with the Republicans to always make sure the Republicans more or less win almost every fight, and that they keep starting from a center position and bargaining to the right. And eventually, after enough of that, it became impossible to ignore the only conclusion that actually fits the facts. The Democrats are not overmatched. They aren't weak. They aren't cowards. They're complicit. And that right there, I can already think of so many people on my Facebook page right now that are just already probably unfriending me or just getting irate because, like, they want so bad to believe in this two-party system, and they want to just – they don't want to look deeper. The scarier fact is, once you see it, you can't unsee it, that both sides really do work together against us. They're both owned by mostly the same corporations. I'm not saying there aren't some good Democrats. Hell, there might be some good Republicans for all I fucking know. But I'm not hearing or seeing the kind of fire that you get from progressives and the people that are coming in that we really need in there. And it's a scary thing when the people that are supposed to be your friends are backstabbing you. And I don't have faith in the racists down the street your uncle that you know there's no hope for, but like your aunt that tells you like, I'm on your side, when you realize she's also stabbing you in the back. Like, that's
Yeah.
what really hurts. It's like,
Mhm.
and that's what I see liberals basically as. And it's not the people that follow them necessarily, because you're being told all this, but you got to stop seeing it that way. You got to start understanding they are not your buddies. They're not with you. Their kids all go to college together. They have a lot more in common with each other than they do with you, and most of them are making a lot of money from these corporations who have no reasoning to protect us, because it's a corporation.
Yeah.
They're just there for business.
Here's the deal. They stood to lose more overall if they let Bernie get the ticket.
Yeah, yeah,
They would lose more
Yeah.
than if they just let Trump. In fact, just like the elite Republicans, the elite Democrats are making the same exact money because they are also elite.
Yeah.
The tax breaks are not just for Republicans.
Yep.
The tax breaks are for anybody, who qualifies for them.
Yep.
So if you have money, if you are rich.
Yep.
And these establishment Democrats are those people. They, some of them are millionaires. I mean, Bernie catches flack for this all the time. Republicans accusing him of being a millionaire and
Yeah.
owning like 2 homes or whatever.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But at least he's
fighting.
He's
Yeah.
fighting for you, and he's. I mean,
How does that make your point?
yeah,
It's like, yes, true. Yes, Democrats, elite Democrats, stand to lose more under a progressive ticket than
they do.
Yeah.
But we stand to lose way more. Like, look where we're at now. It's like, and all of this money basically going to the military, from what I'm seeing. Like, almost everything, especially in this new stimulus. Like, the military budget right now for the United States is apparently $738 billion. Like, Canada.
Was that the one that was just approved?
I think. Well, that one I have some stats on here. Now, once again, if anybody wants to do further research and tell me that I'm full of shit, but this is what I'm finding, okay? This comes from Bernie's site, but the new GOP COVID-19 bill includes $2 billion for F-35s, which I assume is a plane, right? $1.75 billion for an FBI building, $1 billion for surveillance planes, $375 million for armored vehicles, $360 million for missile defense, $283 million for Apache helicopters, and $0 for the millions facing eviction, which is starting up like this month because it's August. So there's really nothing in this bill. And they've been stammering over this $1,200, which we already got, and we're maybe going to get again. Though Canada, by contrast, has given $2,000 every month to their people since this has begun, and their military budget is only like $21.9 billion, as opposed to our $748
which is still
billion.
too much.
Still too much. But when we talk about defunding the police or the military, it's like we're not saying take away everything. We're saying they are making such a fucking ridiculously large amount more than they should be.
Yeah.
And they're using the military against us now. So
Yeah.
you're paying to have your own military used against you now.
Yeah.
You fucking idiots. That's ridiculous. And the people out there bootlicking, like I have so many names I want to mention, and people, I just come at me right now. Like they're not doing any fucking, you're getting your news from like, I'm a redneck.com. These colors don't bleed.com. And it's like, you have no sources other than that one shitty site with all the bad spelling in it. And I'm just tired of this shit, guys. You live in a small town. You're not around enough culture to know that there's people that are beautiful, that have different skin tones than you, and different religious practices, and different sexual, all that. But you guys just keep doing this. It's such a cliche. I can't believe they don't see it. It's crazy. But I'm sure they'd say the same thing for me living in the big city of Columbus, being a liberal or whatever they want to call me, which I'm actually not a liberal. I'm a progressive. But labels in themselves are dangerous. I kind of believe in the Chris Rock thing where it's like we all have a little bit of conservative in us. I can't think of a lot of things I align with conservatively. Maybe I'm really against pedophiles, That seems like a conservative thing I can agree with.
Pretty universal.
Pretty universal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although there's plenty of pedophiles on the conservative side. Trump.
Yeah, he's definitely a pedophile. I don't want to believe Tom Hanks is a pedophile.
I know. I just saw that him and his wife are officially citizens of Greece now.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's is that weird? What do you
I don't
think
know.
about all that?
Weird timing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the process is.
Maybe
to
you just want to
become...
get out of the country because everyone thinks you're a pedophile. I mean, you can't go to anything that is posted about Tom Hanks anymore without the comments just being all those
Really?
QAnon. It's pretty bad. He's getting hassled pretty bad.
Oh, so it's a QAnon theory that he's a pedophile.
Yeah. There's also one apparently that I think that they say birds are fake. Birds aren't real. Look up. Have you
Well,
seen that one?
yeah. I don't know if that's QAnon. I think that might
Okay.
just be.
They're making
I
fun
think
of.
that might be a. I think it's just a meme.
Yes.
'Cause I've definitely seen the birds are fake memes.
Hey, let us know if you think birds aren't real.
Going back to what you were talking about, with the bloated military budget, the House actually just recently, was it on the 21st? So they were meeting to vote on whether or not they should cut the defense spending by 10%, and this was led off by Bernie. Let's see here. The Senate voted in a 23 to 77 vote so 77 to 23 to against.
Yeah.
So they rejected it. The House voted 324 to 93. And yeah, so 185 Republicans voted to cut it, or to reject the cut, to keep it how it is, bloated as our president's neck.
Yeah.
And 139 Democrats, you guys.
Yep.
That's only 92 Democrats that in the Democrat-led House. Yeah,
Oh my
it's
God.
just
Yeah. That money could. I mean, that's nothing, but that could have helped so much. We do have a comment. We have two comments. If you want me to go to them.
yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
One is from Katie Rose, very lovely burlesque dancer who we've got to work with many times, and she says her thoughts on the push from many people to hype up Biden. I'm pretty sure Katie Rose is progressive, from what I've seen of her. I don't know if she wants to label herself anyway, but that's what I see. She is saying that he's good enough. People are saying that he's good enough for Angela Davis. What do you know that she doesn't, basically? Basically, everyone's kind of using Angela Davis as like, well, if Angela
my
Davis
God,
likes him.
yes.
And she's saying, in my opinion, I feel this argument is irritating and the energy should be used elsewhere. So I try to use it elsewhere, but I just get very irritated hearing this over and over. LOL. I can see what you're saying, Katie. Thanks for the comment, question, / Yeah, what do you think?
Well, okay. So Angela Davis, no offense to her, and same with Noam Chomsky, they're fine. They're doing all right.
Yeah.
They have health insurance.
Yeah.
They are among the elites.
Yeah, they kind of
Like,
are.
no offense, like the work that she did as a young, radical, that I like fucking adore her. Like, she's, very openly communist. Like, I mean, her activism and bringing together the black community and, fighting the FBI. It's brilliant. And but she's no longer a young radical. I'm sorry, but. And this is probably ageist, but as you get older,
Most of the time, yeah.
yeah, I mean, right? I mean, let's just look at like musicians and stuff.
Yep.
For example, like Trent Reznor, huge. I love the guy. I think he's a genius. But man, you compare his work now to his work when the Downward Spiral and
Just seems
Pretty
to lose
Hate
some
Machine.
edge.
Oh, he's almost no edge. I mean, he's got edge.
It
But
could also be that we've gotten so used to that sound, it's not as shocking to us. But what are his political beliefs is where I'd be curious. What's Trent Reznor?
I don't know.
Does he
I don't
even
know
have
about him.
any?
I
Yeah.
brought him up just to bring up
Right.
his fire, the fire that he had,
Well, look
that
at
he doesn't seem to have anymore. Like, he's more methodical and he gets awards for doing soundtracks and stuff, which are excellent. He did the soundtrack for the Watchmen series on
Yeah.
HBO.
And I don't know. Yeah, but let's take it this angle. The same thing you're saying, and I've heard that many times. What's the old saying? Like, if you're 30 and you're still
a liberal,
a
or
liberal,
no, you have no heart if you are young
and you're not
and you're not a liberal.
but if you're 30,
and then if you're over a certain age, then you have no brain.
yeah,
If you're not conservative.
Yeah. Most of these baby boomers that are the Trump supporters were the hippies of the 60s. Now, a lot of them died out, and a lot of them realized they had to change their ways if they're going to survive. They couldn't just keep, going to Woodstocks. And Woodstocks kind of stopped happening after Altamont anyways. But except for the new ones that were fucking fucked up. But I would say those people, it's like in a way, yeah, that people just calm down politically and they start having homes and kids.
When you
and
start getting money,
yeah,
you start thinking more financially. I know
yeah,
that because, like, I'm nowhere. I'm not. I don't even think I'm above the poverty line, but or I might be as like a single person.
there's not
But
much of a middle
with my
class
partner and
anymore.
I,
Yeah,
like we're not legally married, but whatever. If
right,
we were, I don't think we'd be above the poverty line.
right.
Um,
There is no middle class anymore, anyways. I don't think. I mean, there's
I mean,
very,
it's shrinking.
very small.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
shrinking. And that's something that both Republicans and Democrats can agree on. But
they
they
just
don't really
blame
seem to.
different people.
Yeah, right. They just blame each other for it.
Yeah.
Or immigrants or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Obama. It all goes back to Obama.
They blame Obama. Yeah.
Which he is to be blamed for some things.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
Hell of
Yeah.
a talker.
Yes. Very, very charismatic. But he definitely wins the award for most brown kids killed with drones. So, number one.
Yeah, so Alex Romero, who does a Supernatural podcast, he is saying you could tether my table to a phone, tablet, grab a little Scarlet too. Is he? I'm not sure. Is he talking about maybe getting phone calls in?
The Scarlet, that's an audio interface.
Okay, so maybe is that what he's talking about? Is
Yeah,
a way
he's
to get us?
like, we could get like a little mobile studio with his tablet.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's potentially.
Thanks for interacting, guys. I appreciate that. I hope we did you justice there. Go ahead and keep asking questions and talking. Yeah, so there we're at. So yeah, when you get older, so Angela Davis,
Mhm.
that's kind of what we're going for. Is do
Yeah,
you get
Angela
money
Davis
Yeah.
and like Noam Chomsky. These are two people that they're like, wow, these progressive minds are saying that we should vote for Biden as like a harm reduction. That's always, or the lesser of two evils.
Right. Which is
And
always
I
what
get
happens.
hounded with this argument over and over and over again. And so here are the arguments for that. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is not going to last
Yep.
much longer.
Yep.
And so whoever is president will, give us a new SCOTUS.
Yeah.
And my response to that is always yes. That's going to be terrible if we get another Kavanaugh.
Yep.
But I mean, is Biden who has said that he said this, that he would consider having his running mate be a Republican,
Yeah.
and has historically been very supportive of super conservative viewpoints.
Yeah.
And many people are just saying he's a Republican.
Isn't he the one that is the whole reason why people are in student debt? Isn't it down to his very he signed something? I got to do more research on this, but
Oh, was there a locked vote?
there was something whenever it went down about the reason students are in debt is basically down to Joe Biden.
Because if the House and the Senate, I believe, or if there's a tie in, if there's a tie in the Senate, I believe it goes down to the vice president as the deciding vote.
Yeah. So back whenever that all happened.
Okay, so during
I
the
have to look
Obama
into this more.
administration, I'm not sure about that.
Or it
but
could have
yeah.
been. Wasn't he in politics before the Obama administration?
Oh yeah.
So
he's
that
been
could
a
have
politician
something-
for 44
It's these
years.
career politicians, man. They are so out of touch with what you are,
Yes.
what we are, that you just can't trust any of them. That's
Yeah.
why, once again, I love AOC.
Yes.
I love or Bernie, someone who at least the whole time was screaming, "You guys are all
Yeah.
fucking idiots,"
Mm-hmm.
and not afraid to not make some friends, make
Right.
some enemies.
Yeah, I think he could stand to be a little bit more aggressive, but
Yeah, even more so. But look how much shit he gets for just being the way he is. People are like, "Oh, I think my water from last time is still here. That's wonderful."
perfect.
I'm keep going because I got a frog in my throat, son.
So my point is, will he appoint someone that is actually going to vote like in opposition to Kavanaugh most of the time? I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Will he be marginally a better person, maybe, than Kavanaugh or a Kavanaugh-like person? I mean, I think it's presumptuous to assume. that
I can
you
agree
would.
with this, that the big problems are not going to go anywhere with a liberal president. I don't think the presidency has been effectual, like I said last podcast, if anyone heard it, since Kennedy got killed. I think Kennedy
Right.
was the last one, in my opinion, from what I've seen. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I just haven't seen anything to prove otherwise. There seems to have been nothing that's really changed since the 60s. And at that time, it felt like change could maybe happen. We were on a turning point, and there's a
Mm,
lot of reasons why change didn't happen, and that goes into many things.
right.
Alex Romero does say what he was talking about was for our remote shows. So if we did want to go
Yeah.
to some sort of protest, that's cool. Thank you, Alex. And
Yeah.
check out his podcast, Supernatural
Tendencies.
Tendencies. Yes.
Yeah, actually, that could be a good. Do you want to go to his ad right now? So that seems like a
Yeah,
good
let's do it.
transition. All right.
Sure.
So this is going to be our very first, not an ad, but these are our homeboys and girls, and yeah. So let's take a listen to that.
Hey there, my name is Christy Johnson Sadler, and I'm the Paranormal Hypnotist. I teach people how to connect with dimensional energies and explore hidden knowledge and memories to create positive change in their life.
And I'm Alex, the not-so-important co-host and half-hearted audio engineer with an eager ear for the paranormal. Do you like listening to scary stories around the campfire? Or trading tales of intrigue around the water cooler?
Maybe watching Leonard Nimoy on In Search Of, or Robert Stack on Unsolved Mysteries.
Have you ever stayed up till 4 a.m., chain-smoking cigarettes, pounding energy drinks and Cheetos, researching the underhanded imperialist satanic reptilian plot housed in the underground Masonic-funded temples, hell-bent on suppressing the existence of Bigfoot while keeping the Ark of the Covenant at the bottom of Oak Island money pit in order to continue the status quo of the riot-inducing question of which way to face a toilet paper roll?
Wow, all that from around a campfire, huh? I think you need some new hobbies.
Don't tell me what I need. All I need is to get into Camp David, then find out who has the key passes to the Dolce Bay.
He'll be back. Catch us every week on the Supernatural Tendencies podcast, where we'll cover oddities, conspiracies, and things that go bump in the night. See you soon.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Alex and friends. Definitely check their podcast out if you're into spoopy shit.
Yeah,
which
I love it.
that's right up your alley.
It is, and I like that you aren't so into it, because that's such a. My favorite paranormal podcast is Mysterious Universe out of Australia, and they're both. One is a little more of a believer, one is not, and it's great how they, because you just have two believers, you're gonna start talking about crystals and shit, like these crystals.
Yeah.
I saw my grandmother and a crystal, and anyways, back to politics, funny politics.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah, we were talking about SCOTUS, so that's one argument, and I do concede, that would be just awful because RBG, she just got diagnosed with cancer again, so it's back, but she is refusing to dip out.
That's
which
scary.
good on her.
But it's still scary. She's the one thing holding. She's just like a chess piece, just held in there, man, just holding on.
Here's another thing though. Kavanaugh recently has actually been siding against Trump.
Oh,
all
okay.
right. So, not that I am down with it at all, but there's the Lincoln Project. Okay, so here's another main argument. I'm kind of like leading into this a little early. I believe personally that we would have a better front. We'd have a better attack plan if we're going up against Trump rather than Biden. A lot of these liberals and more lesser of two evil folks say that we need to make incremental change, harm reduction, and then push Biden to the left.
Yeah.
Right. That's their whole plan of attack.
Yeah. Is
to start bullying Biden and push him to the left. Which I say good luck to that. I say that's. I think if you have, just look at these voting records that we just talked about. We just talked about the stimulus package. We're talking about the budget, the military budget reduction, and we're talking about Medicare for all.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And these are all things that historically Biden has also been on that exact same platform against the wishes of the American people, siding mostly with the establishment Democrats. So by saying we're going to push Biden to the left, that means we're going to have to push the House and very likely the Senate and the president all to the left, who are all three very clearly voting against progressive views,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So how is that going to work? The Congress is going to be siding with the president on everything,
Yeah.
and going to allow the expansion of. I mean, just look at the '94 crime bill. Just look at that thing. You know, like I talked about in the last episode, the arms race between Democrats and Republicans to see who can be tougher on crime. So, and look at the Obama administration. His reaction to Ferguson and Standing Rock.
Yeah.
All right. That honestly, do you really believe that Biden is going to be that much more that much more progressive when it comes to law enforcement?
Yeah.
I just don't see it. So my opinion is everybody hates Trump.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be way easier to mount a strong defense against Trump than it
Yeah.
would be to have a defense against Biden. I think, and you know, I don't know. I get people. This might be like kind of an accelerationist point of view, and I know that that's dangerous and has its like privilege to it to be able to like think that way. You know, because you know I'm not in a cage on the border.
Yeah.
I am not a trans person whose you know medical rights are being threatened. They're very like safety being threatened.
Yeah. We're not protesters in cells right now, or wherever they took the protesters. Does anyone know where they took them once they put them in a van? Does anyone know where these protesters went? Has any of them showed up again? Like,
Yeah, I guess they take them and fingerprint them. They take them to some undisclosed location. They kind of drive them around, I guess, for a couple hours.
just to freak them out.
Yeah, I guess. But they fingerprint them,
Interesting.
which historically is not a good sign.
No, because they're going to come back around. I mean,
Yeah, that's how you get black. That's how you get black bagged. You know.
Yeah. And once if Trump gets elected again, it's these things are going to just become commonplace because he's just a baby wannabe dictator, and all the people he buddies up to are Kim Jong-un and Putin and all these people. And if you can't see that, I just don't know how. This is a public stream, right? Is it public? Okay, good. So I want a Trump supporter to explain to me how they can justify this guy bringing Gestapo type tactics to protests. Like, how can you not see these protests are lawful? I mean, the only way we've ever gotten any change in this country, women's voting rights, anything, has been by people protesting. And how do you see this as being a good sign for things to come that he's bringing in? And these cities don't even want them. Like, he's said these cities are like, yeah, they're good for it because, Trump loves to tell the truth. And the cities are like, no, we had no idea this was happening. And if they show up, we're doing everything we can to get rid of them. I saw that on John Oliver anyways. But yeah, it's ridiculous. I just don't. But one thing Trump did do that's interesting, and I'm curious because I looked this up and it was on more than one site. But apparently he had just signed a bill that went against Big Pharma. Did we already talk about this? Where he signed a bill that's basically going to make like EpiPens like pennies, and it's really strange that he did that. And maybe he's doing that.
Oh
as a
yeah, no,
ploy.
I did see that. It's like $1 a day for what is the diabetic medication? Oh my god, it's slipping my mind right now. Insulin. Yeah.
And so that's great if that's true. I mean, I don't think it takes care of all the other horrible shit he's done and is doing, but that's a great thing. But what do you think's behind all that? That's a strange one.
Oh, I mean, he's definitely reaching for
something to get political traction.
So he's obviously got a couple tactics. He's trying to be like, okay, I'm not that bad, and I'm going to have more of a change as far as Big Pharma than the Democrats. And I get to say, Republicans, if you just look at the pandemic response, Republicans love to swoop in at the last second and be like, I'm the savior of the people. The Democrats are all over there hand-wringing and being, arguing over which, PC thing that they're all obsessed with at the moment.
Yeah.
While we're over here saving the day, which is a fair thing to say. And I at the earlier stages of the pandemic when DeWine stepped up and there were a couple other conservative mayors and governors who stepped up and actually did some, not that Democrats were messing up, but DeWine was one of the first, and then the entire country
That's right.
kind of copied his thing. I mean, he definitely. I'm not gonna suck the guy's dick, because
It was mostly Amy Acton, anyways, wasn't it?
right,
Yeah. So
yeah, and then she got so many death threats against her and her family that
she's like, this ain't
quit,
worth it.
So
Yeah. Fuck that.
yeah, so great.
then
But
we
yeah,
saw-
that
we
is
saw
that
his-
is a classic Republican move. Swing in at the last
Yeah.
second, save the day, get the praise, and then go back to
Tear gassing
absolutely
Yeah.
decimating the poor and
the rioters
yeah,
or the protesters. I'm sorry.
protesters.
They call them rioters.
right.
Because we saw right there the bullshit with the tear gassing, or we will not tear gas or any more protesters. And then within that same, I think, 2 days of that tweet, they're still tear gassing everybody.
Well, the police very actively were like, fuck Ginther too. They are not happy with Ginther at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
man.
you know what I'm doing right now? I'm messing up DeWine and Ginther. I'm sorry.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
putting them together.
Yeah.
Just two old white guys. Both Republicans, correct?
I
Is it-
believe so. Actually, I'm not sure about Ginther, but
Yeah.
let me look that up. I should definitely fucking know that. I just at this point I can't really tell the difference between Republicans and Democrats. So
It's getting rough.
in my defense, no, he's a he's a Democrat.
Wow. Does it even matter though?
No, it doesn't.
It's not about if you have a D or an R. It's about who you got to look at the corporations behind the D and the R because it doesn't matter anymore. I'm assuming most people that call themselves progressives are not. But like, here's a real question for you, James, that I've been trying to think about. Even if we get the whole place filled with progressives, how do you stop people from wanting that second beach home when it's being offered by these corporations? All humans are corruptible. So like, how do we, on an ethical level, like a spiritual level, how do we get people to choose what's best for? Because it's so easy to take the payday when we aren't even gonna. Most of us aren't even going to live to see these changes if we get the chance to even make them towards the betterment of humankind. So to take a paycheck for that beach house, man, it's like that's tough to turn the human mind against. Humans are very in the get it while you can, YOLO, and it's like how do we create incorruptible politicians, and is it even possible?
I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, it's. I think I kind of touched on this last episode too. About how like you can't really teach someone the core value of caring about other people.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to already be like that, or I'm not saying that you can't unlearn bad behaviors, but yeah, I just don't know. I mean, for one thing, nobody who's altruistic, in my opinion, wants to be a politician. Nobody wants that power.
Which is kind of it's a
so
problem
it just
with-
leaves a giant vacuum
I know.
for the people who are going to use that power and abuse it and take advantage of it and just take the payday
Yep.
and move on. Yeah, I don't know.
That's why people always talk shit about good bands signing to record labels, but I'm like, well, if it weren't for these Nirvanas and whatever signing, then all of it would just be shit. Because the people that are going to want, people that are making music for money aren't going to make the same kind of stuff. They're going to make safe sounding. They're going to do the status quo, and I think the same with politics. Nobody's going to shake the boat. Nobody's going to shake the monkey tree. Like Bernie Sanders is an anomaly, really. Like and that's a scary thing. There aren't. I don't know all of them up there, but I'm not seeing a lot other than once again, Alexandria Cortez seems to be one of the good ones. But
Yeah, and then her and Ilhan Omar.
yeah. There you
She's
go.
great too.
Did you see the thing where the Democrats are trying to get rid of AOC's district?
AOC's district? Yeah, I sure
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I mean, you know what? Fuck it, get rid of her district. She'll be whoever in whatever district at this point.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, as far as reform goes, I mean, I'm not a huge proponent of reform. I don't think that we can like make incremental changes to this system to get it to where it needs to be.
We wouldn't
I
have
just
time. Yeah,
we
just
don't.
have time.
Yeah, we don't. Well, I mean, what would that take? That would
know.
take Jesus, like 50 years.
It's so easy to sign a shitty law into a law, and it takes so long to undo that shitty law. Like, it takes generations, and people just forget even why. By then, you're so used to the thing being a law.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you think about it, it's so strange. We were all born into this. It's not our fault, depending on if you believe in reincarnation or not. And even then, for some reason, our disk drives have been wiped. But as far as I know, me and you, none of this. We were born into this shitty ass weird training module called America, Earth, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And we're dealt all these cards and things that are just damn right impossible at times. It's like the older you get, the more it's like, how is a human being? And they just keep making the game harder, So
Yep.
I got to look at it as a game. I got to keep a sense of humor. I got to keep art in my life and people like you that have common thoughts and a good energy about yourself. But it's really hard to. I get why people sink into depression, man. I get it. Like,
It's easy.
we both suffer from some of that. So that's a lot of this podcast too, is just getting like minds together to realize you're not alone. We're all going through this, and maybe find some joy together somewhere. Just doesn't always have to be politics talk, I guess. It's like, because a lot of this is just we're all dealing from like the backlash of politics, or thinking about this, or having this constantly berated upon us.
Mm-hmm.
But ignoring this as well as a complete, I always kind of put it to like having you're on a picnic with your family, and politics and the government, all this is like a bear in the woods. Like, you want to enjoy the picnic,
Yeah.
but there's a fucking bear in the woods, and you know it's coming. And if you don't pay attention, like, you can't really ever totally relax.
You're right.
And that's what sucks. We can't just count on the bear not fucking eating us,
Right.
Which luckily we don't really have to worry about bears eating us anymore. So things can change. I guess that's not true, though.
I'm kind of worried about
Yeah.
getting eaten by a bear.
They're coming back out into society. They're starting to
It's
look.
coming. Yeah, nature is healing.
Yeah. Have you heard of the rat?
We are the virus.
The rat wars in New York City.
The rat wars.
There's like wars between rats. They're starting
Like rat colonies.
Yeah, because they're not getting enough food from people. Because nobody. If you ever check,
Because they're not out and
Yeah.
about as much. Ah.
So there's like rat, Lord of the Flies going on with rats. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Things just need to fundamentally be different. I think the reason why it's so easy and so prevalent for politicians to think about themselves and their payday before anybody else is because literally that's how this entire country has been wired now. Or from the beginning, I guess. It's this capitalist mindset of we need to produce and consume.
Mhm.
And, just make the most out of our time, converting our time into money as efficiently as possible. So that means, you see it like even just in the artistic community. How much are we being? How much is it being pounded into us that we need to brand ourselves well? We need to stay on brand. We need to, be on the fucking ground floor advertising for ourselves.
Yep.
Making sure that we're marketable,
Yeah,
making
exactly.
sure that we're, open for, I don't know, compromising our actual views so that we can make money.
And once you become a brand with your artistic whatever, then you become completely afraid to talk about anything that might alienate,
Any part of your,
it's like, fuck
That's
that.
That's why we want to start off here and alienate most of our friends,
I feel we already have. Mostly people already know where we stand, and I think anyone that's stuck around, thank you, because you have somewhat of an open mind. We don't have to agree, and you're welcome to also tell us to fuck off, because we'll do that with you if we don't like what we're hearing. But this is where we stand.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah,
That's
fuck
where we
you.
stand.
Yeah,
Fuck you. All cops are bastards,
yeah,
and so are most of you.
yeah.
Yeah, I just there needs to be a way that we can all care about what is being produced and care about each other and recognize each other's strengths, even if they're not the traditional, marketable thing.
Yeah.
I mean, how difficult is that? The answer is very difficult.
But
with
do
the
you
system
think
that's
that
put in place.
do you think kind of what's happening since things are moving so slowly, we're getting to a point where we are running out of time, and that's starting to be shown, and that's why
Yeah.
get used to the protests and rioting, kids.
Yeah.
Because it ain't going away anytime soon. Just wait till the climate riots come, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
When
and
it's
then
too hot.
how much longer before we hit the eviction riots?
Oh God, that's going to be like next week.
Yeah. I mean,
Dogs and
there's
cats
gonna be
living together.
what was
Mass
it?
hysteria.
The frogs are turning us gay. I yeah. What I mean, what did they say the eviction rate was?
I don't
I was
know.
seeing like
It's not going to be good.
40%. That seems high, right? Is
Yeah.
that 40% eviction rate? That can't be of
so
renters.
And once this happens, the crime rate's going to skyrocket, which, is just going to bring more fucking secret police to our cities.
Yeah, evictions in Milwaukee and Wisconsin jump over 40%.
Oh.
And I saw a map. It had like every state. Oh yeah, here it is. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna
You got this figured out, James. I like your little dealio here.
let's see if I can find this map and then I can pull it up.
This seems like a real,
It seems like a real boy.
yeah.
All right, let's see here. Eviction rates.
But people can't see that right now, huh?
Not yet. I'm
Okay.
gonna
We'll get to
I'm
the
gonna
point where
find the
soon-
website and
Yeah.
then I'm gonna then I'll throw us up
If
on
you
here.
zoom in on his glasses right here, you can see the reflection of what he's watching.
Yeah, zoom in right here.
Yep. Hi, Bobby and Katie watching. Just wanted to say hello. It's like a romper room. I see Bobby and Alex and Katie. I think that's our 3.
This isn't the map I was looking at, but
Yeah, eventually we will have to where you can see what we're looking at. This is our second one.
Oh wait, okay, here we go. Eviction rate 3.9. No, this isn't.
And it's not like it's going to start in August is what's really going to be the big one because that's where most people's leases are up.
Right.
It's going to get real shitty, real hairy, man.
I saw it. Man, finding stuff that gets posted and buried in Facebook and Twitter is just a nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give up here soon, but
Hey, thanks, Justin. We think you're awesome.
Well, I'm not seeing the map that I wanted to find, so I'm gonna give up now because this is just dead air at this point. But yeah, I mean, it was like every state. I know that Ohio said 40%. Yeah, it's just gonna be absolutely madness.
It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
We're talking about the evictions that are coming up in August here because the new stimulus package really has nothing for anyone that's going to get kicked out. And we just can only hope there are some landlords out there. Like I have heard some good stories and I've heard some nightmare stories of landlords being cool. What is up with landlords? What's going on? What's the story?
You want to talk about landlords?
Let's talk about some landing lords.
Good God. Yeah,
Lords
I
of
have some
the
thoughts
land.
on landlords. Yeah, landlords are bastards. Even if you have a good one, which if my landlord is listening, he's been great. He fixes all the shit pretty quickly and everything. But I don't think he as a person is a bastard. But I mean, I don't know him very well, so he might be.
Yeah, we don't know.
But he's nice. He's nice to us, and we are nice to him. It's a good relationship as far as.
But you
can.
also pay on time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we pay on time, so
Yeah.
there's incentive.
You
for
fall
him.
in line.
We do the things we're supposed to do.
You gotta.
And that is give him money and build him equity.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. So there are like 2 ways to accumulate wealth in this country, and that is generationally, like inheritance. And these are the primary ways. There are obviously more ways to do it, but so through inheritance and through owning property. This is generational wealth. So like this is how we as a family, like trees, gain wealth over time.
Okay.
So it's handed down to you, and owning property. So if you're too poor to own a house, you are spending like our rent here, is $800, which is really good.
That's about what ours is too.
Yours is
Clinton-
800.
Clintonville,
Okay, yeah. So that's a good fucking price because we live in the South Side, which is a impoverished side of Columbus. For those of you not from Columbus, has a high crime rate and all the things that you associate with a bad part of town. And so Yeah, that rent is pretty low. But if I were to live in like Clintonville or somewhere, a house this size, you'd probably be looking at like 1,200,
For
1,300
sure, yeah.
bucks,
Because we pay 800 for like a little
like a
condo.
duplex.
Yeah, and it's 2-story, but you got to listen to neighbors fight and shit. And it's not great crime in our like we hear gunshots. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, been hearing gunshots.
Well, I mean, it's going to be everywhere
it's
now.
gonna be everywhere. It's the new thing. It's the new thing.
This what happens. I don't know what it is, but when you're tough on crime,
Yeah.
you seem to start making more crime
Yeah.
happen.
You just you kicking the beehive, man.
Yeah.
Then
I
you
mean,
blame
when
the
you start
swarm.
making more rules restricting people's rights,
Yeah.
there's more opportunity for laws to be broken,
Yeah.
which creates more crime.
It's kind of like how most
Interesting.
shark attacks happen where on the water near people.
Yeah, right. You're like, really?
Well, where else
No
are they going to
kidding.
happen? Yeah.
Man, where there are people? Well, we should avoid those places.
Well, it's funny. Trump was saying no testing would cause less cases.
Yeah, the only reason why
No laws
the
are-
cases are going up is because the amount of testing is going up, and America has the best testing.
So wouldn't crime by the same go down if there was less law?
If there's less police checking for
Yeah.
the crime, I think crime would go down, and I
Oh.
think we should pass this up through the vine, make
Let's
sure
see if
that
they
Trump
listen.
hears it.
Yeah, he'll listen.
He listens to the people.
He,
Uh, so landlords, they own the house, and you're paying for the property taxes, and you're paying for the mortgage, and likely you're paying more than that. So they are, for maintenance and whatever, blah blah blah. And a lot of landlords will be like, well, if they don't pay me rent, then I can't pay the mortgage or pay the blah blah blah. So we're working together. It's a shared thing. Blah blah blah. The problem is that after we move out, you still have a house.
yeah.
After you evict us, you still have property.
Yeah.
And in the time that we've been here, in the time that we've been in this house, I saw that my landlord bought this house for $45,000. I know that. I checked the records. And at one point, we wanted to buy it from him, and I think we still might. I don't really know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how that works out.
Yeah. We're just getting into that world of buying a house, which is
Yeah,
crazy town.
I know. It's like, how
Though
old
it's
are we?
really-
How
though-
old are we?
Exactly. The only benefit of all this quarantine, crazy ass fucking pandemic shit is that apparently right now for millennials, it is a very good time to get in because a lot of businesses are losing their shit. People are, there's a big change of guard happening. So if you
Yeah.
did want to get a house, now is apparently a good time
Yeah,
to do it.
interest rates are great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So buy houses, everybody.
Before
buy them
the
up.
fall. Before the fall.
Yeah, yeah. And just make sure that you have enough money and you are stable enough to pay for it through the fall. Don't make the
Yeah.
mistakes that our parents made with the housing bubble.
Hi, Jessica, sweetheart. Okay. Anyways, I've realized my job here, James, is to always take you off track, and then you bring it right back. You're like the steady guy, and I'm the one that I'll start talking about aliens and shit because you can't have me in a room too long without aliens coming up for some damn reason. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you know what? That's okay. I take that responsibility. I think that's weird that I'm the focused one. But, I mean, somebody's got to do it. So
It's good that you are good. Like you're good to come back though, because you're like now back to landlords.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right, back to landlords.
Right.
So they still have a house, and the property value increases. So this house was bought for $45,000. I don't know how much work he put into it before we moved in. He did do a lot of work. You see, the walls are white down here. These were painted. It was all the color behind Casey here, the wood paneling.
Yeah.
So they put up paint. They recarpeted the basement. It's this nice. It was shag, and so now it's this nice. I wanted something thick, still not quite shag, but it's nice. It's nice carpet.
Because you do a lot of recording down here, and it matters, right?
Yeah.
matters what
I
kind of
want to
carpeting.
reduce as many
Yeah.
reflections as possible.
Yeah.
The floor is not the biggest thing, but that getting technical here. You can't see off camera here, but there's like a bar over here,
Yeah.
and there's a little switch that has like a fan that pulls smoke out. So this is like a swinger's basement.
Yeah, and by the way, James does amazing recording, and he's going to be doing more recording once all this ends, or you come to people's places too, maybe, or that's for the streams.
Yeah, right now I'm doing. I can do mobile recording.
Yeah.
I've been going to. I went to Body Farm's location and did a mobile recording session there, and then I also did a live stream session with Slow Violence.
Sweet.
So check those bands out. My recording studio is Over the Counterculture Records.
Our band has worked with them and will be working with them more in the future as well, and you should too.
Yeah, and your band is
Electro Cult Circus.
yes.
If you like
check them out on Facebook.
belly dances and burlesque and
Who doesn't?
sort of good music.
Oh, it's great music.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
Yes, good stuff. I miss music, man.
I do too. That's the thing.
Before we move on,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I
Landlords.
need to.
Let's wrap it up.
I just need to because I said that this house was bought at $45,000.
Yeah.
And the most recent price that my landlord gave me to purchase this place was $130.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and we've been here for I believe 3 years.
Jesus.
So 3 years it went from 45,000 to 150. And I was
damn.
trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. He did make a lot of improvements here.
Okay.
There's AC, like I think it's a new AC unit.
That's still
So all
pretty
that stuff's really
crazy.
expensive, Like I don't know. I want to put an estimate that he put in like $10,000 to $15,000 into the house, but still, that would only bring it up to 60,000,
God damn.
and
How
he wants
bummed were
over double that.
How bummed were you when you heard that? Were you like, what? Because you were probably checking the price to see like what you were gonna have to pay, maybe, right?
Yeah, well, initially we were gonna do like a rent to own thing, and he was estimating that it would be around like 90, and I was pissed off about that. I was like, that's double what you fucking paid.
And crime definitely hasn't gone down around here. Crime can only
No.
be going up everywhere right now. Even German Village crime's getting crazy out there.
Yeah, I mean, just squeezing you put a lot of pressure into a closed system. It's gonna boil over.
Kicking the beehive.
Ugh. But anyway, yeah. So that's equity. So now when he sells it to me eventually, if I buy this house or if somebody else buys this house, he's just made so much money off of me, and that's on top of the $800 a month, which my math skills are really bad. But what is that like? 13,000. Is that right? 13,000 every. Let me do the math real fast. So
Not
800.
good. Like we said, we're musicians, not great at math.
Oh no, I was way off. So 9,600. So rounding up, that's close to $10,000 a year. And yeah,
That's a lot.
so that's $10,000 a year, and then whenever he sells it, he's gonna make all that extra, back on it. So that's wealth,
Don't
and
feel
he didn't have
sorry
to do
for
it.
a
He didn't have to
landlord,
do
yeah.
anything, and I just had money loss, and I have no equity building on
Yeah,
it.
that's the thing. Like, why are we expected to take all the loss? Because we're at the bottom of the fucking pyramid, of course. But that's not something we should just keep rolling over and taking. Because landlords, if it's a pandemic, it was nobody's fault. Really, maybe the dude that ate the bat. I don't fucking know. Maybe he should. How do you stop a pandemic? It's cyclical, by the way.
You wear masks. That's how you
that's how you
stop the
stop it.
fucking pandemic.
How do you stop it
fucking
from
man
starting?
up.
How-
You
yeah.
woman up.
That's true.
You non-binary up, and you fucking put on a goddamn mask.
You're right. Hey, it's funny. Do we talk about conspiracy theories on this podcast at all?
Oh,
Is that fun to do?
Oh, I love me a good conspiracy.
Me
theory.
too, and I think they're fun. I mean, there's a big difference between believing JFK was murdered and lizards rule everything. But people put them all in the same bucket. But I listen to Duncan Trussell, who's a really great guy. You should check him out. His podcast. He's a funny comedian. But he has a great conspiracy theory that I think is accurate. And if you were a country which hates America, which there are plenty of because of the shit we've done.
Am I a country that hates
if,
America?
If you were, let's say you were. Okay,
Okay, I am. I think that's a fair
Okay,
assessment. I think I'm a
yes,
country that hates America.
James is a country that hates America.
I'm a whole country.
Let's say this pandemic comes along, which may be created by you or not. We don't know where it came from, a lab, whatever. There's all these theories.
Yeah.
That's its own conspiracy theory. But doesn't matter. That's not the point. But it's here. Everyone's suffering. America's doing very badly at managing it. Wouldn't the best way to fucking keep us down is to start spewing information into our internets, like how they've done through voting and shit. We've seen Russia and China, all this stuff, to tell people not to wear a mask. Wouldn't that be the smartest thing to do?
Absolutely. And it'd be way easier to kill Americans that way than by invading our country, and we could just literally kill each other by like talking at each other.
And the longer you prolong it, the longer the economy goes to shit. longer people's fucking morale goes down. They're destroying us from the inside because people, and like when these people talk about you're taking away my rights, well, not wearing a mask is taking away my fucking rights.
My right to not be sick,
exactly,
to not die.
Or I can't even go down to the swimming pool this fucking summer.
Yeah.
There's no swimming pool to go to.
Every other country is opening up now.
Yeah, look at New Zealand, assholes. And I'm really talking to one particular person back home whom I love. He's a dear friend, but God damn it, he's probably not listening. But he's a real idiot about this stuff. And God bless you. Almost going to say your name, not going to say it.
Yeah.
But you're a symptom
Fucking
of
dox him.
Yeah, you're a symptom of Fox News, my friend. You're watching the bullshit. It's all bullshit. They had this list. Did you see the recent John Oliver?
Yeah.
Where the list of all the guys just talking about how horrible. And it's all graffiti.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like, look at these violent things. It's like graffiti. It's like, that's fucking art, asshole.
Yeah.
Whoever said the buildings had to be gray anyways? Boring fucking farmer gray.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah. Have you seen the latest? Oh yeah, this was on one of your statuses. The guy who's like, if pants don't stop a fart, then how's it gonna stop a virus? And it's like, science.
Yeah.
Science, you moron.
God, these people make me mad.
Fart particles are much smaller than the particles that contain the virus. So the virus itself is very tiny. But for the most part, the virus latches on to spit particles that are much bigger. I mean, imagine spitting and then versus a fart.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a fart, not a shart.
Yeah.
Because
Sharts are different.
Shart particles. Now, we can get into the finer details of Shart particles. And maybe we'll do that on next episode.
Yeah.
We'll have a little Shart particle
And maybe we
party.
can talk about times we have sharted.
Oh, yes. Oh, I have such a good story
I got a
for
pretty
that.
good one, too.
Oh, my God. Actually, you know what? Let's just take a moment and do a...
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do shart.
Let's do it.
This is our
Shart
funny
party.
break. We got to have something light.
All
here.
right, yeah. Let's. I guess we're pushing the time anyway.
All right. Let's end on some sharding.
Yeah, let's do some let's Shart party. Let's go. We'll start with you. Go ahead.
Oh, well, one time I actually shat my wife's dress. And how did you do that, Casey? You want to know, don't you? And
I
she's
would
listening.
love to know.
She has this beautiful dress that was in the washer and dryer to be washed the next day in this apartment we used to live in. I had been drinking, which is when most mistakes happen for me. And I was eating something that, wasn't, I don't know, I sharted, right? And it was very gravy-like substance. And the genius that I am, at this point, I changed enough diapers I should have known. But I think I just got used to, throwing diapers away. And I must have thought I was wearing a giant man diaper because I didn't go wash it out in the sink or bathtub. I just let that gravy-filled thing, and I threw it in. So the next day she wakes up, and because I was like, I'll wash that all tomorrow. The next day she wakes up, she's like, why is there shit all over my fucking beautiful white dress? And I still don't hear the end of that, rightfully so.
Yeah.
People would have gotten divorced for that. God bless you, sweetheart.
Yeah,
that
is you are
Gravy.
what a trooper.
Yeah.
What a trooper. I would have divorced you.
Yeah, I wish
You
I could
shat all over
divorce
my dress.
It's horrible. How about you, my friend?
All right, so people who know me know this about me. They know one truth about me. That they probably know a couple truths. That I believe that all cops are bastards.
Yep.
Capitalists are terrible.
Right on.
Landlords are all bastards. So
Right
these are the four truths of James. And 4, I don't do well when I smoke weed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't handle it well. So
I knew those other ones.
yeah. Well,
It
so
was
we're all
good.
learning. We're all learning today.
Yeah.
We're all learning something about the country of James. So I don't handle smoking weed well. Usually it gives me really bad anxiety. But on this one occasion, I was drinking with my buddy Danger, and for whatever reason, I decided it would be a good idea to smoke weed, which was a common mistake that I make around Danger is doing something that I know I shouldn't do, but I do it anyway. And shout out to you, Danger, getting me out of my comfort zone constantly.
I blame his name.
Yeah. Well, I think it's appropriate. But so I smoked weed, and then we went for a walk, and all of a sudden my insides just mobilized
Oh.
really badly. and I was like, "Oh my god!" So I like
Oh.
panicked, and we were. Do you know? Oh man, what's that road? It's off of what's the road just north of of uh Hudson? Is it? It's
Lane? No.
no, just north of it of Hudson.
Duncan?
No,
Oh,
well, whatever.
Arcadia?
Yeah, Arcadia.
Okay, Arcadia.
So do you? So you go down Arcadia, then there's that one really curvy road that goes around the school and has like it has like a guardrail. It's like right in front of the Xenos Church.
Oh, yeah, we walk by there all the time.
Yeah.
Calumet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know that guardrail right there.
Yeah.
So we were walking right there, and I was like, "Oh God!" So I ran over to the railing, threw down my pants, and squatted over top of the
Into the
the
ravine?
railing, and I was just like,
Was it into the ravine?
yes, I was just shitting into the ravine, and Danger's looking at me, and I'm like, "Don't look at me! Don't look at me!"
Weren't you afraid of falling over?
I wasn't afraid of anything other
Other
than shitting my pants.
That is so funny. Me and my son and my wife take wonderful walks, and sometimes high,
Yeah.
through that area almost nightly. And
Yeah.
I'm going to now think of that as the James Shit Creek.
That's where I shit. That's my go-to spot to take public dumps
Oh, that's
and
wonderful.
scream,
Were
"Don't
you-
look at me!"
Were
at my
you
friends.
were you joking when you were saying "Don't look at me"?
Y-
Like,
yeah.
kind of fun. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You weren't
I-
really still freaking out.
I was like, I'm owning this situation,
Good,
and
good.
I'm gonna make it even more awkward. And it worked.
Don't look at me.
It freaked him out. He was like, "Oh my god!"
like, how do I not look at this?
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's
So
a good
he
one.
just kept walking in front of me, just like, yeah,
I picture
so-
an old fisherman down there just getting
just
Getting
covered
Dave Matthews bust.
in Shart.
yeah.
Yeah, that might be less a sharding story and more of just a shitting story.
Well, it would have been a Shart story.
It would have, yeah. But thanks to the immediate medical expertise
Yeah.
of the country of James, we were able to shut that Shart.
You have a good healthcare
Down.
system there in that country.
I sure do.
Yeah. Did you ever actually just shart your pants though?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I was drinking.
It's always with drinking too, right? Me too.
Oh, yeah, always.
We
Because
become
it just like
beasts.
loosens your
Yeah.
shit.
You don't think about the future.
Yeah.
You're just like, that's not
Yeah.
gonna be bad.
So I was mixing. I was drinking White Russians and watching The Big Lebowski, of course.
Yeah.
And then I ate like some Xanax or something on top of it.
Oh.
So it was a power combo of Xanax and White Russians,
the
which
dude.
I don't know whose idea it was to add milk to alcohol.
So weird.
It's a weird
I know.
impulse, right?
It really is. I love that movie, and I always want to drink White Russians when watching it. I want to
Yeah.
go to one of the Studio 35 things, but I can never get tickets.
Oh, I know they always sell
they
out.
always sell
So
so
Alex went to one. He said
Really?
it was really fun. Yeah.
I always see him at the cool. Like I'm always at like a good show, and he just happens to always be there too. He's got a good thing.
Yeah, he's got good show going ability.
No, honey, I don't think it was Weber. Oh,
Yeah, not
my
that far north. It's in
Justin
between.
says White Russians very shocked it wasn't more than a Shart. And yeah, Weber's
Yeah.
where I almost died. He's talking about Calumet, where we walk often, right by the Xenos Church, the Church of the Cult.
Yeah, the
Cult.
Cult Church.
I know a girl that was in the Xenos. or
Both
one
my
of her-
sisters are in it
Oh,
Yeah.
currently in it?
currently. Yeah.
Is it pretty fucked up stuff? they do?
I mean, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is it is it like Scientology or something?
I mean, it's less focused on rich people. I don't have enough money to be a Scientologist, so I don't really know.
Right,
I mean, and I they study the Xenos studies like the Bible. So it's not like it's not a religion that was made by a sci-fi writer.
Yeah.
What's his name? L. Ron Hubbard. Yeah. So it's not, and it doesn't have to do with aliens and stuff. So.
Right.
So
Boring.
I would say, yeah. So I would say it is less so than Scientology, but we can get into that in a future episode.
Yeah,
But,
Maybe we can have a guest because I know a girl that has some pretty good stories about that.
Oh yeah, that would be good. Yeah, because I mean, we definitely need to be tackling religion,
Yeah.
because, and that's something that we haven't really brought up too much, is the effects of religion on the world we live in, especially with this COVID response.
Yeah.
And with the back the blue mentality.
Yeah.
You just see these evangelicals going out of their way to support the freedom from masks. Did you see that video? It was from Florida, where it was the city council opened it up to the public, and the public came in and just started screaming at them about the masks.
Yeah, I saw
like
that.
the one lady that's like screaming
Yeah.
about how they are impeding God's perfect breathing machine.
Yeah.
Talking about putting a mask.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
And then just the religious zeal that comes along with backing the blue. I mean, I saw
Because Jesus was all about authority.
Yeah. If we know one thing about Jesus is that
Oh.
he was against the poor and really on the side of oppression.
He sure was. He was such a line tower. Yeah, and then this isn't Jesus, unfortunately, but like the Thomas Jefferson thing about, one of the signatures on the Declaration of Independence basically said to overthrow the government if the people are no longer safe and happy. And
Yeah.
everyone's calling riots un-American, and it's like the way they twist these ideas around.
Yeah.
People don't know enough about history, and they only use religion so far as it will justify their hate.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we get to not like gay people. Oh, great, because I didn't like
I
them.
already didn't.
And there's no, by the way,
Exactly,
there's no verse in
exactly.
the Bible that says that. There's no verse in the Bible that says anything.
Nope.
If anything, it says, what does it say?
It's about pedophilia.
Yeah,
About
pedophilia.
the because
Yeah.
the original Hebrew about the when a man lies with another man, it's an abomination or whatever.
Yeah.
I believe it's in Leviticus.
But it's
Whatever. I might be wrong about that. But the original translation was when a man sleeps with a boy, it is an abomination, and it's talking about pedophilia.
but people twist everything. Even the King James version of the
Oh,
Bible,
yeah.
which as a king I think was one of your worst things you've done, James.
Yeah, well, that's why I've become a country since then. I was a king.
Boo.
I was a king,
Yeah.
and I did the Bible, and then I did basketball for a minute, and then
Be
now,
best.
now I'm a country.
James, be best, okay?
I'll do better.
Isn't that Melania be best? Didn't she say be best? Because I was going to go with do better, but I'm pretty sure she said be best. That's her saying. I've been told. I don't know.
Okay, I'm
I was
not
trying
sure.
to throw that one at you. Okay.
Yeah, you got me. I'm
But
stumped.
the Gnostic version of Jesus and Christianity, I am not against. I just want to say I don't hate all religion. I just hate the stuff that's twisted by. I think sometimes there's a purpose to having a belief system of things that are good. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about our differences in that area too.
I'd say that I don't care what you believe in.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
I don't care if you need like spiritual, you need that to feel enlightened. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I don't care if you're Christian. I don't care if you're Jewish. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care.
Just get it off me.
Just stop using it as an excuse to be shitty. And that goes to any religion.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, it's just like the Makad Brooks thing I was saying, where he's like the black speaker who was speaking about the police killings. He was saying how he does not care if you're a racist. Just stop killing us.
Yes.
You don't you can have your racist dinner parties, do whatever the fuck you like. Just stop fucking shooting my people.
Yep.
Because you're not doing it to anybody else.
Yep.
You're picking us for some reason. Not that you should do it to anyone else. You shouldn't do it to anybody. Anyways.
Yep. All right.
We are fired up.
Yeah. Now we're pissed.
But
all right. I think to end this thing, just kind of like wrap it back up to what we were originally talking about, which, if you remember,
we went from stimulus checks to Sharts.
Yeah.
Which I like that snake.
No, we had a good moment. I think we had a good run today. But our original topic was talking about the Democrats and are they on our side? Are they with us? And we went through a bunch of different points on our theories of no. That they are really standing, that they're standing in the way of progress, that they are complicit in, and they're necessary for the rise of fascism, and so to end things off, I'm going to read another quote, and I'm going to do this because white people, especially liberals and moderates of all kinds, on Republican moderates and Democratic moderates. Love to quote Martin Luther King Jr. You notice that? Mm-hmm. They love to quote him, especially when it came down when the riots, when the protests started turning into riots, or I guess they might have started off as riots and then turned into protests. I don't. It doesn't matter. But they quoted that one quote from Martin Luther King, which we've seen it a shit ton, which is the that how he does not condone riots and looting.
Yeah.
I even saw. Did you see the one guy who was white-splaining to Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter,
I didn't see that, but that's.
or his son?
Oh,
Well,
God.
one of his children. I'm blanking.
Oh, that is a thing, isn't it? White splaining.
He was white-splaining. Like, I see what you're saying, but I think that but your father would disagree with you on this matter. You know.
Gross. That's gross.
So, yeah, white-splaining using Martin Luther King's own words against one of his children. So, anyway, let's wrap things up with a good quote that kind of goes along with what we're talking about today from Martin Luther King. All right, so first, I must confess that over the past few years, I have been gravely disappointed with the white moderate. I have almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in his stride toward freedom is not the white citizens' counselor or the Ku Klux Klanner, but the white moderate, who is more devoted to order than to justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice, who constantly says, I agree with you in the goal you seek, but I cannot agree with your methods of direct action, who paternalistically believes he can set the timetable for another man's freedom, who lives by a mythical concept of time, and who constantly advises the Negro to wait for a more convenient season. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. Lukewarm acceptance is much more bewildering than outright rejection. And this says, I think, more than I ever could about the whole struggle, and goes back to me talking about opposition to Trump versus alongside Biden. It goes talking about it encapsulates everything perfectly. And
You're right, and I would just venture to argue real quick here before we wrap up. I would say the people that are actually the obvious racists are still a pretty small minority. I think they've woken up some more people to be more vocal about it. That probably were, but I'm still saying it's probably less than 1/3 of the country. I hope.
I hope so.
I hope,
Yeah.
but like that's still a lot.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But the people that are, the white liberal moderates, I would say are way more people. So
Yeah.
if we could wake those people up, which is the goal of this podcast, to hey guys, what you're doing is you're not doing anything. You're being ineffectual. You're just letting it making it easier for these things to happen, and you're not
Absolutely.
helping. And just look at the riots. Look at how many people actually showed up. God, I keep calling them riots. The protests. They weren't riots. Look at the protests.
I'm fine with owning it.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with riots. I don't have a problem with looting.
fair enough.
And there's another Martin Luther King quote that is much longer, and I'm not going to get into it today, but that it's the voice, that the riots and the looting are the voice of the people saying, that it's what do we have in a capitalistic society? How do we hurt the capitalists most? By taking their capital, by affecting their bottom line.
You're right.
That's the only way that people who have are going to listen to those who have not.
And you've seen the video of the lady talking very passionately. I love that video of her where she's talking about this isn't our stuff. I don't give a shit.
This is like people say, why are you destroying your city? This isn't ours. None of this is ours. Yeah. That's such a great that always makes me tear up every time I watch
gets me
that.
because you could feel her.
Oh my God,
she's sending a true I would, when we can show those things, because we're going to be going over these same subjects again and again, and just always ending up on different conclusions,
Yeah. Well, the same conclusion, and
but
that is
different.
Fuck liberals.
Right, but maybe different things like Sharts or not. Like
I
think
right.
It's going to be like the telephone game.
Yeah.
We're going to always start, and then it's fun to see if we end up talking about aliens or whatever the fuck we talk about. Comes back to aliens and Sharts. But anyways, James, it's been great once again.
Yes, thank you, Casey, and thank you to everybody who showed up and watched us on our first live stream. We'll be doing this every time, and we'll get better with the chat screen. I actually have like a dedicated, so that everybody can kind of see everybody's comments, and eventually we'll be switching over to Twitch, and because I think it's a little bit more conducive for that, for the kind of like live chatting thing.
Plus, Facebook's probably going to ban us as soon as they hear
Oh,
we're talking
yeah.
against white nationalists.
Yeah, I'm working through a bunch of Facebook bans right now on my personal account, so it's becoming messy. Yeah, you post something that's anti-Nazi and you get called out
Yep.
for supporting a hate group, I guess.
Yeah, it happened to my band page too. They're threatening to take it down ECC. That's why I just started another one.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just going to talk more shit about racists because that's what we do.
Yeah, just double down.
I know.
Don't let fascist Zuck
Nah,
keep us down.
We're not going.
Yeah, well then we'll switch to Twitch and we'll get banned there, and then we'll just keep moving the message around.
Getting banned for you.
Yep.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll stay safe, stay sane, stay left. We're gonna go ahead and sign off now, but have a great rest of your day, and remember, wear your fucking masks.
Boom.